the Changeling, one of the strongest and most formidable legendary lord, who has fought the likes of Vlad, Festus, and many other powerful lords, decides to invade Grand Cathay. Seeing as he is busy with fomenting a rebellion in the Darklands, he instead assembles a mighty army, an army that has been hitherto undefeated on the fields of the Empire. The great host of chaos arrives through a dark portal in the rich lands of the northern provinces. Here things seem promising at first, with the very capital of the Dragon Emperor falling quickly to the might of the demons and their human followers. Then shortly after the Iron Dragon arrives with a mighty host, the host is quickly dispatched, and the army of the Changeling feels confident that they will bring the Dragon Empire to its knees. They are sorely mistaken, for just as one army is annihilated, another takes its place. Regardless, the host of chaos presses south, determined to aid their rat allies in their struggle against the humans of the East. But here an overwhelming force pushes them to the brink of destruction. Indeed, their demonic master is slain on the field of battle. The host of chaos survives, but the rats are destroyed. Annoyed, the forces of chaos push even further south, but here they cannot move further as the endless legions of Grand Cathay hound them day and night. The Storm and Iron Dragons unite their host, hunting down their foes. At long last, the Changeling arrives with his main army from the west, having struck an insignificant blow against the legions of the Chaos Dwarves. He charges headlong into the fray, intent of ending Grand Cathay once and for all. But the walls of the Great Bastion will not fall so easily. And even when they do, even when the hordes of marauders are unleashed across the land, when Dark Elves and Warriors of Chaos control the North, Grand Cathay raises 3 more armies. Still, he sees a chance to end it on his terms. He approaches the Iron Dragon with a demand for a truce, feeling that after the destruction of a dozen armies, the collapse of half of the Dragon Empire, and the marauding hordes, he will get his way. The Iron Dragon instead looks in disgust and reveals a massive sum of gold, far larger than anything the Changeling had seen so far. Even worse, the Changeling knows that it is not even a fraction of the money Grand Cathay has. The Iron Dragon throws the gold at the Changeling, remarking, "Take it and get out filth." Defeated, one of the greatest threats to the known world runs away in fear.
Welcome everyone, Questin here with more of my Changeling campaign in Total War Warhammer 3. And I want to talk about the experience that I've had with him in Grand Cathay. Now, I've talked about how Grand Cathay is far more powerful in patch 4.0 than it currently is. Though, even before the changes that did happen with patch 4.0, Cathay was certainly a faction that was able to gain a lot of territory in a campaign, if they managed to win against Snitch and Lokier in particular. But now, that has become ridiculous. So I'll give you an idea. Around 20-25 turns ago, I opened a portal in Grand Cathay over here in Wengchang. Now, through this portal, I sent an army, a secondary army. It's this army right here, though it wasn't led by this particular lord. I did lose the initial leader of the army. I also lost the hero attached to that army. That was not a fun experience. But I sent this army well over 20 turns ago. This was in the context where I figured, okay, Village and Lokier have been devastating the north, Miao Ying is losing, the Great Bastion was breached. Village is actually much better at breaching the Great Bastion, and he'll at least do it in this campaign. And I was able to vassalize the Imperial Wardens because they had gotten so weak by that particular point. As someone said it, I cinched the Imperial Wardens, and I cinched Cathay. Okay, so that did happen. So I show up here. 2-3 turns after that, I lay siege to Nangao, because Miao Ying had basically been forced over there. I fight that battle. It is against an entire stack and the garrison. I win that battle. The turn after that, Xiao Ming shows up over here with an entire stack. I figure, okay, I just defeated Miao Ying with an entire army. Surely I can deal with Xiao Ming. And I do. Then he sends a third army over here, keeping in mind that he had already been fighting Snitch, and winning, I might add, fighting Lokier, and even fighting Village to a certain extent. That was the context there. So I defeat 3 armies in a couple of turns over here in Cathay. And at this point, I realized that the objective that the Changeling has in Cathay, one of which is to obtain the form of Xiao Ming, is only available, like obtaining those form quests, you will only do so if you'll only defeat them with the Changeling's army, not with any random army. Now, the Changeling was busy over here, creating a Greenskin Rebellion, which, by the way, was brutally crushed. Like, you create a bunch of rebel armies, but all the AI factions by this point were just, like, sick and tired of it, so they just utterly crushed them very, very quickly. So I send this army here into Kun Lan. By this point, Snitch had basically been thrown into Jade Wind Mountain, and he had some troops, but there were several Cathayan armies heading towards him. I was allied with him. I throw my army against those armies, and we do manage to drive them back. So already we're talking like fighting 4 full stacks in here. Shortly thereafter, Miao Ying, or because I'm using the Recruit Defeated Legendary Lords mod, Miao Ying, now under the control of Xiao Ming, shows up with 2 more armies. So just in case you're not keeping count, that's 6 armies already I'm dealing with. Defeat those. 2 more showed up. 8. We're at the count of 8 armies by this point. 8 armies. Okay? So I defeat those as well. And then I'm like, okay, that's enough. I send the Changeling over here from the Darklands after he's finished. I go from the Mountains of Morn. I send them over here. And with this army, I decide, you know what, let's cause some damage to Nakai. Because Nakai ended up getting defeated. So I just need to eliminate the defenders of the Great Plan, right? So I figure, okay, I can do that. Xiao Ming and Miao Ying chased this army for quite a while with 2 entire stacks. And keep in mind, again, that Village and Loki are still fighting them. Now, they're also fighting each other, which is obviously nullifying their potential. And Village is also fighting Zaytan. I show up, I deal with that. So I figure, okay, that's it. It's over, right? There's no way they can recover. Sure, they have some territory, they'll recover more armies. If I toggle the Fog of War over here, it is not over. Not by a long shot. You have an army of 9 units, you have an army of 11 units, you have an additional army of 11 units. Cathay has gotten the shit kicked out of them in this campaign by myself, Lokir, and Village, and they're recruiting free armies. Actually, 4 armies over here. Cathay doesn't need the Order Tide. Cathay is the Order Tide. It's insane. It is so insane. And to top it all off, to just go to the extreme level, when you finish a grand scheme, when you finish one of these theaters on the campaign map, you get the quest battle. Let me show you the Cathay quest battle, because this is going to be ridiculous. Okay, so you might think this is reasonable enough, right? A couple of Celestial Dragon Guards, some Celestial Dragon Crossbows, some artillery. That ain't all. That is not all. That is 6 Terracotta Sentinels, a bunch of Longma Riders, 2 Skychunks. Jesus, what is this? It's like the Cathayans have decided we will breed like rabbits. That is absurd. That is insanely absurd, I have to tell you. It goes to a completely different level. So let's fight this battle and put Cathay in chaos. Not that Cathay is going to fall anytime soon. You know, if I leave this theater of operation, I expect like in 20 turns, all of this territory, like all of it, will fall under the control of the western provinces again. With a hollow heart and a mind for mischief, the Changeling relishes the chance to see Cathay fall to ruin, guiding a Skaven Warlock Engineer to the very base of the Great Grand Bastion. The structure's magical protections will matter little. Beast bar. Okay, I'll be quite frank and honest about this. I'm not sure if I can win this battle. To be very, very blunt. I have a very powerful lord and a powerful army, though I don't have any anti-large, and that's gonna really hurt me over here, as, you know, the Terracotta Sentinels of Hell get unleashed on my ass. But I do have Vlad's farm as well, and he is very, very powerful over here. So let's remove guard mode and toggle group lock. We need to take the walls. That is easier said than done, isn't it? Our Skaven allies start to alive. Alright. If we keep the Cathayan forces distracted above ground, our Skaven allies can breach the walls underneath. Yeah, that is gonna be easier said than done. I mean, the only reason I'm even fighting this battle to begin with at this point is that even though I'm not good, this army that I have is not really capable of standing up to what the Cathayans have. The sole reason I'm doing this is because my units are gold tier. And that's it. Like, that's the sole reason I'm even risking this entire endeavor. Gotta be careful, though. And let's take out the Cathay artillery and send some Tangors, because they're pretty fast units. And deal with those crane gunners. And, yeah, let's deal with that. That's magic, isn't it? Yep. That is certainly a heck of a lot of magic that we got right there. Vlad is in the fray, gentlemen. Reinforcements have been sent from the Iron Dragon himself. The Skaven have arrived. Their warp grinders are going to be useful, to be certain, though. The Iron Dragon. I'm like, sheesh. Oh, shit. Why does he have so many long mud riders? What have you been doing? You know. I kind of originally thought, oh god, no, you can't be serious. Like, the Jade Dragon is arriving. Sheesh. That is not a good situation, is it? That's a lot of power there. Keep in mind, this army is in hostile territory, so yeah, that's great. We need to take the walls. Like, Cathay is absurd. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Okay. We're gonna need to fall back. Because I don't think I can win this. What the hell? Hellbrass and Vlad von Karstein are going to take the walls, that's for damn certain. It's the only way. No, 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 don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. You almost got it. Take the victory location. More Skaven are arriving. Jeez. The insanity continues. What can I say? Grand Cathay will not fall. You know, I do feel like this battle is appropriately epic. Say what you will about this. It's like, this is what a battle like this should be like. Okay, I need to use some magic. The problem is I don't really have good options to... what? What do you mean they're using a Doom Rocket? What are you... What? What? Okay. We may win by the skin of our teeth. Get out of there. Oh, that was rough. That was really rough. Oh, I see. So, as long as they hold the walls... Okay, we need to send those knights to deal with the skyjunks. That's the battle, but damn. Jeez. More Skaven arriving. Okay, we just need to win this. Suffice to say, having a nuclear missile dropped on your head is not exactly a fun experience. Well, this is what you get when you hire Clan Squire. Oh, Jesus. This is like freaking hell. Well, the battle will end at this point, hopefully. Well, let's get Vlad to go after that one.
Face your fate, mortals.
That should be sufficient, I reckon. You gotta love the Changeling handling, hiring Ekiclaw to just like blow up the Great Bash, and it's like, how do you destroy the premier fortress of Grand Cathay? Oh, it's like, yeah, hire the Skaven to blow it up. Is that the best strategy you got, Zinch? Hire the rats? That seems like an awful idea. In many ways. My army has been brutalized. It should be pointed out, this particular army has fought along on the whole campaign map without really suffering any damage. And it got destroyed in a single day. By the Skaven. I'm not even blaming Cathay for the losses it's taken. It's like the nuclear weapons the damn Skaven have used have certainly contributed to that. Jesus. It's like, what is going on here? I love it though. It's like so ridiculous and over the top. Well, the walls are ours. Try and take out that sky chunk. Holy hell. And maybe the event that starts after this will be enough to hopefully put an end to Cathay. Maybe. So, apparently that loading screen was wrong. There's a lot more Cathayan units. Granted, you do also have the usefulness of the Skaven. You don't get everyday Skaven allies that you will use nuclear weapons to help you out. And warp grinders. Lots of warp grinders. Also some Skaven slaves, because, of course. Great. Where is Hellbrass? Let's try and kill that Cathayan Lord. That should be enough. It is done. Victory. Okay, so let's actually take a look at the armies that... Yeah, so I didn't get to deal with all those Terracotta Sentinels, but yeah, they had... Okay, so the reinforcements weren't necessarily that substantial in the end, the reinforcements, but they certainly did have those goddamn reinforcements. Every Skaven army had the warp lightning cannon, warp grinders, all that kind of stuff. That was absurd. So we can summon a Trickster Cultist in Pig Barter, or with 2 in the Great Turtle Isle. My guys have been left without a home.
The walled lands of Cathay can withstand the relentless meddling of Tzeentch's trickster. The great bastion has been breached by a mere scurrying rat. As warbands and followers of Tzeentch advance upon Cathay with ruinous intent.
Whichever woeful deity protects you, it ends. A timely arrival.
You know, I guess I haven't done anything, have I? All I've done is actually help the fricking Cathayans. Dear. Okay, there is at least an entire army of Tzeentch ready to stand against Cathay. Actually, let's take a look. Several armies of Tzeentch. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That might stop Cathay. Or not. I'm gonna go with not. The garrisons might just be able to defeat that. And that's not an exaggeration, I gotta tell you. So this is the in Cathay. You know, I almost dread what will happen if I build this. Because, you know, Cathay is pretty damn strong as it is. Okay. That was something. That was a freaking nightmare, wasn't it? So I need to win. Okay, that's not too bad. Raise, sack or raise. And infiltrate any settlement. Okay, well. Moral of the lesson, don't screw a Cathay. You will regret it. That's all I can say. Costin here, signing out. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and enable notifications. Honestly, I've been dealing with everything over here. I would say that this has been the far easier situation to tackle in the campaign. The Recruit defeated Legendary Lords, if you're wondering about how I got him in particular. What a bloody madness. Freaking mad. Stay tuned for more. Honestly, though, to understand how ridiculous things are, keep in mind, I have annihilated his armies just the turn before this. He's been fighting, like, he's not even at war with Lokir Village at this point. They're just too busy fighting each other. To understand how ridiculous things are about to be, this is what he's offering me for a peace agreement. 26,000 gold. After he's lost settlements left and right. After he's built army after army to throw against me. You know what, Xiao Ming? You're the Dragon Emperor. I'm leaving. I'm just done with this whole thing. That's all I'm gonna say.